Welcome back everyone to River and Sea. We are back here at the Glass Blowers Camp where last time we did a little practice in blowing glass, and now we need to get back to the question about the spiders and the goblins.
Can't a body be left alone?
Ah, you're back, and you've dealt with a few of those spiders, I see. Well, I've had an idea about what those goblins are up to with the spiders, and it ain't a pretty thought. Oh, and what's that?
Could I take a moment of your time?
You see, I think I finally figured out what those goblins are up to. It was the presence of those sappers that cleared it up for me. Stories always said that they were the worst of the lot, scheming up new ways to hurt and kill folk. I think that they're taking the spiders and cooking them down, making them into a tar for those pots they throw. Never heard of them using spiders inwards, such a thing, but wouldn't surprise me a bit. They're probably sore from their defeat south of here and are itching for another fight. But this time they plan on burning hobbits out of their houses and homes. You've got to put an end to this. You should head back to the Bleakfoot Crest and burn those pots that they're cooking the spiders in. They'll probably have torches or such nearby that you can use. And you'll need to take the recipe for the tar away from them as well, or burning the pots won't do any good. Defeat one of those sappers out there and search them for the recipe. Alright, fine. I will burn bubbling pots and collect the recipe. Good. And if I kill a few of those sappers in the meantime, wonderful! Back to the camp. Not one of the sappers, but we're at a start here. Oops. We do have plenty of these. Oh, here's one. Okay, I found the recipe. Now, I need to burn a few pots. Okay, there's one of the pots. There's a nice torch to use for that. Let's get unrooted here. Let's see. Okay, there's a second pot up there. Okay, now I can move again. That's that. Ouch. Alright, perhaps I could have stayed a bit away from that as I did that. Now let's go to the second pot. See if I get there without running into too many goblins. Oh. I should stop standing in the middle of it as I do this. Really? Takes care of that, and there is a torch next to there, so I don't have to go back and carry the torch all over the place. Oh, and I'll better take care of you at the same time so that I don't have to pick up the torch, get blasted, and then try it again. Okay, I'm done. I'm out of here. With that matter settled, I presume I really need to come back to here and find that. Oh yes, the lost leaf. That's what I'm looking for. A lost leaf. And no, I don't mean a pine leaf either. Now, let's see. What do we got here? Hey, have you seen a piece of paper that's been missing? No pieces of paper missing here. Ooh. How about down here? Whoops, daisy. You can go down. Your adventures have made you stronger and even more willing to help. That was Your adventures have made you stronger and even more willing to help those in need. Okay. That was a strange message to be posted. I don't recall what prompts that particular message. Oh! Maybe it has something to do with... of course, I've reached level 32, so that means book 3. I've satisfied the requirements on that. Okay, now it makes sense. Yes, reached 32, so I have accomplished that, so I can talk to Candate in his camp in there. But I would like to first reach Tinadir. Hello, I've taken care of those sappers.
Huh, how rude!
Good, you've done it. I'll take that recipe there and destroy it. That should keep them from making any more of the foul stuff. Unless, of course, they've got that recipe in quadruplicate or something like that. Never would have thought of it saving spiders from a horrible death. Well, if you don't tell anyone, I won't either. Yeah, well... And here's your missing piece of paper.
Hello?
I simply can't start my book without that page. Have you found it yet? Ah, here you are. Many thanks. Oh, what does it say on there? In a hole in the ground there lived a boar. No, that's not it.
Might I have a word with you?
Well, I'm sure he'll come up with something eventually. But I think it is time for... Oh, yes, of course. Isn't he the one who wants me to go to the ranger camp?
Might I speak with you a moment?
Yes, you've done much to help us, and for that I'm grateful. I feel it will be a long time before dwelling feels like the rolling hills of the green fields, but we will continue to do our best. One thing that does concern me are the big folk to the north. Not the ones in the town, but the ones beyond there who live by the big lake. Well, I'm for going to a big lake. Yes, they were friendly to us. They used to come down here to trade pipe, weed, and glass. Once or twice, I ventured up to them. They used to make a camp on the bridge that crosses the river. There is a giant man with a stone watches the boats go by. All right, fine. I will go by to this colossus and see what I can find at them. And perhaps we could help them a bit, because while I was originally thinking of going to the Lone Lands and doing some things over there, I was thinking, well, the theme here are bodies of waters, right? The series is called River and Sea after all, so why go to the Lone Lands, which is about as far from a river or a sea as I could possibly think? So, let's go to the bridge instead. That looks like the bridge, and that is definitely a giant statue of a man. So let's see if these friends of theirs are down there, and if there is anything that they need. Well, there seems to be some overgrowth here. And I do see a boat down there. So I guess somebody... Oh yes, there are definitely people around. Rangers by the look of them.
Greetings.
Greetings. Ah, let's see what he needs.
What do you need?
Hob Hillbrow is a name that I have not heard in some time. I do miss him and his little jest, but I am pleased to hear that he is doing well. When a scout reported seeing men in dwelling, I feared the worst. Thank you for helping them with their situation. It is precious to think that in these dark times a hobbit is concerned about the welfare of men. If only he knew how dire things truly were. I envy that simple folk. Well, I suspect the people where I live probably know even less about what's going on. Now, let's see. How about we tag this? Oh, hello there. Are any of these things of interest to you?
How can I be of service?
These look like any other river weeds that I have seen dozens of times. You say that they soothe your skin when you touch them? Yes, I feel that.
Would you do something for me?
I examined these weeds that you found, and I am glad that you brought them to me. Normally, river weeds are of little consequence. One can eat them if hungry enough, but there was nothing special about them in themselves. It seems something has happened when the sand lurkers begin to digest the weeds. Somehow, it brings out a mild healing ability from the plants. I have tried them on several scrapes and cuts around the camp here, and the results are undeniable. There is no sense in going on swimming to get more, since they are undigested. I need you to go out and get more of them from sand lurkers themselves. A slightly foul proposition, I realize, that taking dinner right after it has been devoured, but I would like to have more of these weeds to make some much needed poultices. Okay. Herther. Okay. I also found this piece of jewelry.
Greetings.
You found this within a crawler, you say? I wonder how it got there.
Might I take a moment of your time?
I examined the ring that you found, and it is certainly from the Old Kingdom. It must have somehow gone overboard from a ship carrying it. The tide slowly carried it to shore, and it was buried within the dunes, forgotten until a crawler accidentally devoured it. There were many ships that traveled the waters, and many storms that harried or wrecked them, particularly alongst the stretch of water. I wonder how many other pieces of jewelry fell overboard and made their way into the sands. There's one way to know. Head back to there where you found this piece and search the crawlers for more pieces of jewelry. Okay? Anything else?
Could I speak with you a moment?
Yes. Could you also might as well defeat some of those sand lurkers? You need to do it in order to get those pieces of weeds anyway, right? Okay, we could double dip on that.
Might I take a moment of your time?
And there's a small ruin to the west of Barendorf called Lithos. It is nothing more than a shell of what it was once, but I feel that you can make an effort there. Crawlers have filled in these ruins. This normally would not be a terrible thing. Nature is generally kind. However, these crawlers are diggers. They burrow holes throughout the ancient ruins of stone, and it is time that they could bring down the very Colossus. Head down to Lithos and search out the crawlers. The ones we are interested in are stopping will not be on the surface. Flip over some rocks and defeat whatever you find beneath them, and maybe they have jewelry inside of their guts or something like that. I guess we'll have to find out on that. Oh, what do you need?
Would you do something for me?
Yes. Could you go over Barrett Thurser across the river? Right. Yeah, what's wrong? There are tomb robbers there. You want me to kill them? Okay, fine. And what do you need?
Would you do something for me?
On the bluff above the catapult that Angamar brought along on the way to the city. We managed to damage it enough that Angmar brought here that they left it behind, and now we intend to repair it and use it for ourselves. It certainly won't reach Numinous, but that's not our goal. We wish to use it to fling ropes over to the Colossus. That will allow us to climb and begin repairing the areas that we cannot currently reach. So you need rope, driftwood, fly wheels, and oil pouch. And you think that's going to be all over the river. Okie dokie. What do you need?
Could I speak with you a moment?
Yes. There are some ruins on the hill above the turn of the river, which we only recently discovered the purpose. There was a lighthouse there, believe it or not, to guide ships along the way to turn of the lake to even. Why is it so unusual about a lighthouse in the river? Anyway, the keeper of the flame was tasked with recording all the wrecks and tragedies that he witnessed from the perch So search parties could be sent to attempt to retrieve what was lost, but in the waning days of the kingdom, they could not have been focused on recovering too much. Head over to the lighthouse and see if you can find any old papers in the logbooks. Okay, fine. I will search the rubble for papers. And one more.
Would you do something for me?
Marathros here is a place we know little about. There was not much left of the record, but I know that it was a site of value. It controlled the shipping lanes and access to the lake in Baranduin. Even every boat traveling the river passed through it. The robbers there are a nuisance, but they should not distract from the larger goal, to learn as much as we can to preserve as much history as possible. We shall never know where we were going if we do not know where we came from. Head over to there and do some scouting for me. I know there are 5 doorways, but I don't know what they lead to. Knowing the makeup of the structure would be a great help. Alright, fine. Well, this is going to keep me busy. That looks like the ruin up ahead. That looks like a crawler, who apparently has eaten some jewelry. Also have a lurker here. Hey, there we go. Yeah, okay, there's some nice soggy weed in there. Oh, it looks like we've got some... Hey. Alright, we have to take care of you too. Now, anything under here? Pile of rubble. Rubble contained nothing of value. Right. Something tells me that this is going to take some time to get through all of this stuff. Anything under here? And we find a tattered page buried within the rubble. Okay. Well, that'll help. Let's see. Let's go and head on down this way. Kill a couple of these creepers. Or I guess lurkers. But they're creeping lurkers, so I guess it makes them creepers of some sort, right? There you go. Do you creep or do you lurk? Whichever. Ah, now. This is the beginning of the beach area, so that means this is where we are going to start our search for various items scattered along the beach. Ah, here's something. This is a pouch of oil. Don't ask me how this oil stayed in reasonable shape all this time. I mean, I guess driftwood comes and goes over the years. Ah, that looks like a rope. Does this mean that ships are still actively going down around here? Most likely. Here are the ruins I was told to investigate. That there are... Well, there's certainly plenty of crawlers on the surface. I was told to make a special look for ones that are under the rocks. Well, let's check the ones under rocks and see how much trouble they're causing. Oh, here's another rock. And another crawler. They're all over the place. I think I found everything I'm going to find on this side of the river, so let's head on to the other side because we need to investigate some doors over here and deal with some of these tomb raiders that are starting to come into view. And I'm sure all sorts of nests. And I still need to find a couple of pieces of rope. Any rope around here? Not in the least. Hey, you have any rope? Okay. Well, I guess that answers the question of whether or not I should actually do something about these. So they don't have any rope, and they want to kill me. That's not a good way to start a relationship. Hold on. We do need to check out this door over here. So let's... This doorway was either left unmarked or time has worn away whatever it said. Alright. Then let's continue up this way. Oh. Hey. You don't want to tangle with me. I warned you. I warned you not to tangle with me. Oh, okay. I warned you that you... Never mind. Let's not... Oh... Alright, fine. I tried to push that one too hard. Oh, let's... Someone's shooting at me! Alright, fine, Mr. Atwood. Fine, there you go. Oh. I'm wounded again. Feel like a pincushion. A faint etching of swords and bows lined this doorway. Okay, so it's an armory then. Anything useful around here? Nope, not in the least. Oh, here's a fun party. Alright, we'll start with you. A large amount of pottery shards identifies this as a dining hall. Alright, fine. What about this place over here? Deep ruts in the ground and small wooden pieces identify this as an old storeroom. Oh, I missed one back there. Right, the middle one. Well, time to head back and cut another swath of 2 meters down. Actually, this way. Oh yes, that's right. Come up here and turn this way for the middle one. That's what I missed. Sorry I didn't have a chance to kneel with you two earlier. Oh, at this time, rebalance myself before I head on. We don't want another incident in the middle of battle. Ah, yes, this is it. The high point of the ruins, the scattered debris of weaponry makes it clear that this was a barracks. Fine. I think I cleared everything up. Oh no, I need 2 more rope. And that means back to the riverside. Yikes! I think this rope will make it the lot. So let's just head on over and get back to the Colossus. Hello, I managed to deal with those lurkers.
What do you need?
You defeated them? Good. I'm glad to hear this, alright? And I also managed to get this weed from them.
Greetings.
Yes, these will do perfectly. Just barely digested, and there's plenty here to make poultices for weeks. Thank you. I also dealt with the crawlers.
What do you need?
Ooh, we will still need to get down there at some point and reinforce the walls, but you have provided us with some much needed time. Alright, good. And I also have these
How can I be of
gems.
service?
These are extraordinary. They will need some cleaning and polish, but the workmanship is exquisite. These can teach us a lot about how to place intricate details into rings and settings. Alright, good. Well, it takes care of that bit. Now, what about him?
What do you need?
Ah, so a storeroom, a dining hall, a barracks, and an armory, and one that was unmarked, either intentionally or lost in time. Most interesting.
Would you do something for me?
Alright, yeah, most interesting. And what about you? Here's the log.
What can I do for you?
You were able to find the page? I was worried that they would have been all lost by time, but like the lighthouse itself. Now, let us see what we can learn from this.
Might I take a moment of your time?
After much time and patience, I was able to read that on this page you found. It was very faded and in a bad state. I nearly destroyed it trying to get the last few sentences. It was from near the end of the kingdom and detailed a shipment of keys from down the river to the rangers encamped here. They knew they were leaving, but they wanted to safeguard as many of their treasures as possible. The locks came on a separate ship and arrived safely. The keys never made it. They still swapped the locks out, believing it was safer than no one could get in. One of the doors locked to the cellar of the lighthouse itself. We need to get inside urgently from an evil that has made it to the dens there. The page gives the location of the wreck and should contain some of those keys. Search the waters and bring back whatever containers you can find. Or find containers and hopefully some of them will have some keys in there. Alright, good. So we need to do the... Oh, and about you?
How can I be of service?
You have driven off several of the contingent. I am pleased to hear it. You're welcome.
Stay a moment.
Yes. Now, we managed to do all of that, but we still need to deliver the items for the catapult up there, which is what we'll do in the next episode of River and Sea.